and
Yes.
that would be the Book of Boba Fett trailer that just came out this week.
Yes. So I kind of forgot when the Book of Boba Fett was coming out. So this trailer hit me by surprise.
Honestly, same here, because I was not expecting it.
Yeah. I really like the direction they're going with Boba Fett taking over for Jabba, like they implied he was at the end of Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah, I felt that it was really appropriate for his character to go in that direction because I mean that was who hired him originally
Yeah.
in episode 6. So,
4.
or I'm sorry, he mostly takes a main role in episode 4 and 6. I'm sorry.
No, he's in episode 5. He's one of the villains of episode 5.
It's been so long since I saw the original trilogy.
Background character in episode 4, villain in episode 5, minor villain episode 6.
Dies in episode 6.
Well, he's not dead.
Oh god, I don't want to talk about how many times in canon that he's died in the Sarlacc pit, in quotations.
I mean, both in canon and legends, let's be honest here, he was never meant to die.
Because hasn't he died to the Sarlacc pit like 3 times, in including all of the things that are out of canon?
So I believe in canon he fell once. I believe in the expanded universe he falls twice, but he survives both times. I believe the first time he gets saved by Dengar, who, if you remember him, he's that bounty hunter in The Empire Strikes Back with all the bandages around his face.
Yeah.
That's Dengar. Apparently, Dengar saves him in the first time in the EU, and I believe the second time he just escapes.
Like, doesn't he like shoot a rocket into, or like his jetpack rocket into the mouth of the Sarlacc and it just spits him out or something like that?
No, I don't believe it was that. I believe he was actually saved by. So I know when Dengar goes in, it's because Dengar goes into the Sarlacc to save him. Because the Sarlacc is like, dying after getting shot. And so I don't think he ever like blasts it because that would probably kill him. I think it was more that he uses his jetpack to get momentum to shoot out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. But overall, yeah, he's alive and he's taken over Jabba.
Yeah, which could be fun, especially with Ming-Na Wen's character coming back as well.
Yes.
Because
Why am I forgetting her name? Fennec Shan. Fennec
yeah,
Shan.
because I absolutely loved her character in Agents of Shield.
Oh yeah. I mean, fuck Agents of Shield. Mulan. I love her in Mulan.
Oh yeah, that is true.
She is amazing. I mean, yes, she's great in Agents of Shield, but she is a Disney princess.
That is true.
Love Mulan. So her character, Fennec Shan, was also really good in The Bad Batch as well. You should watch The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm very interested in, which unfortunately, since you haven't watched the Clone Wars, you may not get, but I wonder how Boba Fett in creating his criminal underworld is going to merge with the Crimson Dawn.
That
So
is fair, because I mean, outside of the Clone Wars, the only link to the Crimson Dawn we get is in Solo.
yeah. So, well, yes. So here's the thing. I don't think Darth Maul's showing up in Book of Boba Fett. He has been definitively killed in Star Wars Rebels. He's dead. He's not coming back. They definitively kills him off in Rebels. He's dead. But we never saw what happened to Dryden Voss and Kira.
Pretty sure. Well, yeah, Kira is still out there for sure. Probably, maybe took it up after Rebels.
Yeah. Well, in between.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, this is before Rebels, so right?
Yeah, Solo is before Rebels. So, in my opinion, what has to happen is that Kira ousts Maul from the Crimson Dawn, which leads to Maul becoming the hobo on Dathomir that ends up training Ezra. Spoilers. Because he has none of his... Come Rebels, Maul has none of the resources from Crimson Dawn. So, in my opinion, I think the character to look out for is Kira in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I think she'll be leading Crimson Dawn. And it should be interesting in seeing how that works. Because the whole history of Crimson Dawn is that it used to be the Shadow Collective, which was a combination of the Black Sun, the Pike Syndicate, Crimson Dawn, originally Death Watch, of Mandalore, and then Death Watch has their civil war. Dryden Voss joins. Maul takes back over the Mandalorians. Then Civil War happens. Maul gets arrested. Mandalorian Civil War continues. Stormtroopers quell Civil War. Maul's Mandalorians get control over Mandalore by pledging fealty to the Empire. The Pikes and the Black Sun just go underground. And Dryden Voss seems to be the only one that ends up maintaining contact with Maul. So I wonder how it's all going to wrap around when it comes to the Book of Boba Fett. Because by that point, Maul has been dead for at least a decade, and the Empire's collapsed, and Jabba's entire cartel has collapsed. So if Kira's the current head honcho of the underworld, her and Boba Fett going at it seems to be prime material.
Yeah, which you're familiar with more of the Clone Wars than I am, so you could probably go into more in depth than I ever could. But I'm still looking forward to this show because
Yeah.
I mean, I just recently watched season 2 of The Mandalorian, and it was all fantastic.
Yeah. So, well, once again, this is a Clone Wars reference. I wonder if Cad Bane will show up because originally in season 7 or 8 of the Clone Wars, when it was supposed to happen, the dent on Boba Fett's helmet that we see was given to him by Cad Bane in a duel that he has with Boba, and it was implied that Boba kills him. That is no longer canon because Cad Bane shows up in Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is the sequel to Star Wars The Clone Wars, and he lives to the end. And in Star Wars The Bad Batch, it's established that him and Fennec Shand are starting to have a rivalry, as he's the grizzled veteran of the bounty hunter world, while she was the upstart rookie. And the two of them clash in The Bad Batch, and now that she is working under Boba, and Boba was trained by Cad Bane, I do wonder if he'll show up to see the student that he trained and the student that his student has now trained in Fennec Shand.
Okay.
Which should be really interesting.
That's a lot for me to take in all at once, considering that's an aspect of the Star Wars universe I have not consumed yet.
This is why I'm telling you, you need to watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars, you need to watch The Bad Batch, and you need to watch Rebels, because they are really going to influence this aspect of Star Wars lore.
I will watch the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch, but I refuse to watch Rebels.
So you have to watch Rebels if you want to understand the rest. I'm sorry. Rebels is too important. Rebels is way too important for you to skip over it. I mean, even in The Mandalorian, there were plot lines from Rebels in The Mandalorian. The fact that Ahsoka's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn is a direct plot point that is at the ending of Rebels that's being continued in the Ahsoka series. That is a spin-off of that Mandalorian episode.
Can I just read a plot synopsis?
No. You absolutely cannot. There's too many moving parts within Rebels for you to skip it. You gotta watch it.
That's gonna be a massive strain to watch. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Listen, it's like Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Kiddie in the beginning, but towards the end, the story is more deep and more rewarding. I really feel like season 1 of Rebels did it a disservice because the rest of the series isn't that bad. It does end up living to the quality of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Alright, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, some people, the original was very much kid-friendly because it was starting out on Disney and they didn't want to go too deep in it, despite the fact that they mention a genocide in episode 2. But, yeah, but then again, the original Star Wars: The Clone Wars run was also pretty kid-friendly because it was on Cartoon Network. And it wasn't until season 1 finished and they were like, okay, Dave, go for it.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was more that they were afraid of cancellation, so they just went all out. That's what I've heard.
No, because Star Wars: The Clone Wars was getting bankrolled by George Lucas himself.
Yeah.
And so, after the first season, Dave Filoni was given a whole lot more freedom after seeing its massive success, and so they shuffled it to a closer to Adult Swim time slot. It was like at the edge of when Cartoon Network ends and Adult Swim begins, that's when new Star Wars episodes would come out, and that's when it got a lot more serious and darker episodes. So and the same kind of happened with Star Wars Rebels, where after the first season, they were allowed to go much darker and more serious. I don't think they were ever afraid of cancellation because
I
Star
feel
Wars: The Clone Wars was canceled because of the Disney deal.
I feel like I gotta figure out where I read that from.
Yeah, I never felt that they were afraid of cancellation because they were able to tell the story they wanted to tell. Unlike Star Wars: The Clone Wars, where they didn't, but that's mainly because of the Disney Star Wars deal.
Right. All right.
But overall, the Book of Boba Fett was really good.
Or the
Like the
trailer.
trailer was really good. I'm really excited to see where it's going. I'm really happy Tamara Morrison is returning as Boba Fett. For as much as I love D. Bradley Baker playing the clones throughout the Clone Wars and Rebels, Tamara Morrison returning is just great. He was Django and the clones in the prequels, and it's good to see him return for live action.
Yeah, for sure.
And
All right.